There is a place above the clouds, above the noise of the world, above the reach of most living things, where the wind moves in invisible rivers, and the sky is not a ceiling, but a kingdom. And in this kingdom, there is one ruler. The eagle. To understand the eagle, you must first understand what it means to be built, from the tip of its beak to the curl of its talons, entirely for one purpose. Domination of the sky. Eagles are not simply large birds. They are engineering marvels. Over 68 species of eagle exist across the world, from the towering stellar sea eagle of Russia to the tiny booted eagle of southern Europe. Each one is a precision instrument shaped by millions of years of evolution. Begin with the wings. The average bald eagle, America's iconic national symbol, carries a wingspan of up to 8 feet. The stellar sea eagle stretches even further, its wings reaching nearly 8.5 feet from tip to tip. But raw size alone does not explain how eagles fly. It is the architecture of each individual feather that makes all the difference. The outermost wing feathers, called primary feathers, are slotted at their tips. This slot design reduces turbulence, allowing the eagle to soar at high altitudes with minimal effort. It is the same principle used by aircraft engineers when designing wing tip devices. The eagle discovered this solution long before humans ever drew a blueprint. By riding invisible columns of warm air called thermals, a golden eagle can gain thousands of feet in altitude without a single wing beat. It simply opens its wings, and lets the earth itself carry it skyward. But perhaps the eagle's most extraordinary feature is not its wings. It is its eyes. An eagle's vision is among the sharpest in the entire animal kingdom. Where a human might see a rabbit at 100 yards, an eagle can spot that same rabbit, the twitch of an ear, the flick of a shadow, from more than a mile away. This extraordinary sight comes from two key adaptations. First, the eagle's eye contains an exceptionally high density of photoreceptors, the cells that detect light and color. Humans have roughly 200,000 receptors per millimeter in our retinas. Eagles have over 1 million. Every detail of the world below is rendered in extraordinary resolution. Second, the eagle can see into the ultraviolet spectrum, a range of light invisible to us. This allows it to track the urine trails left by small mammals, which glow faintly under UV light like neon signs in the grass below. The eagle does not guess where its prey might be. It reads the landscape. Every trail, every shadow, every tremor in the grass is a message it can decode from 1,000 feet in the air. And when it strikes, the talons close with a force of several hundred pounds per square inch. More than enough to pierce bone. To crush life instantly. Efficient. Lethal. Perfect. Eagles do not belong to one place. They belong to the world. From the frozen tundras of Alaska to the steaming rainforests of the Philippines, from the African savanna to the cliffs of the Scottish Highlands, wherever there is land, wherever there is sky and life below it, there is an eagle's shape to rule it. Perhaps the most recognized eagle on Earth is the bald eagle, Haliaeetus leucocephalus, the national bird of the United States. With its stark white head and tail set against a dark chocolate body, it is unmistakable. But despite what its name might suggest, the bald eagle is not bald. The name comes from an Old English word, bald, meaning white. It is a bird of rivers, coastlines, and forests, built to catch fish, yet bold enough to steal a meal from an osprey mid-flight if the opportunity arises. Cross the ocean to Africa, and you will find the martial eagle, the largest eagle on the continent. Named for its warrior bearing, this bird hunts monitor lizards, small antelopes, and even young baboons. A martial eagle sighting from a baboon troop sends the entire group into screaming alarm, their eyes locked upward, their young pulled close. This is not cautious behavior. It is memory. Generations of memory, encoded in behavior, whispering, that shape means death from above. In the Philippines, deep inside the ancient forests of Mindanao, lives one of the rarest and most spectacular eagles in existence. The Philippine eagle, called the herring ibon, the king of birds, is the national bird of the Philippines and one of the largest eagles by length on Earth. With a mane of brown and cream feathers around its face, it resembles something between an eagle and a lion. It hunts monkeys, flying lemurs, and large snakes through the forest canopy, a three-dimensional world where speed and agility matter as much as power. Deep in the Amazon basin, among trees that tower 60 meters above the forest floor, the harpy eagle reigns. The largest and most powerful eagle in the Americas, the harpy is a ghost of the canopy, massive, silent, sudden. Its talons are the size of a grizzly bear's claws. It hunts sloths and howler monkeys, plucking them from branches with an almost nonchalant brutality. The harpy eagle does not give chase. It does not need to. It already knows where to be. In the Russian Far East, where rivers freeze solid and salmon run thick beneath the ice, the stellar sea eagle waits. At up to 20 pounds, it is one of the heaviest eagles in the world. Its enormous bright orange beak can crack open salmon with a single squeeze. During winter migrations, hundreds of these giants may gather along a single river, a gathering of eagles that seems almost mythological in scale. And in the highlands of Scotland, where the wind never truly stops and the land rolls ancient and wild beneath a pewter sky, the golden eagle holds its ancient court. For thousands of years, the golden eagle has been part of the human story of this land. It is a bird that feels old. Its silhouette against a Scottish ridge carries the weight of centuries. Patience. Before anything else, before speed, before strength, before the strike, an eagle hunts with patience. It may sit here for an hour. 2 hours. Watching, reading every shift in the grass below, every shadow that moves with more urgency than the wind would naturally cause. A rabbit appears at the edge of a gorse thicket, 300 meters away. The eagle does not move. Not yet. Then something shifts. The rabbit has moved further from cover. 5 meters. 10 meters. It is absorbed in feeding now, its guard lapsed for just a moment. The eagle launches. This is the stoop. An eagle in a hunting dive is not simply falling, it is calculating. Adjusting trajectory in real time for wind, for the movement of its target, for terrain. The golden eagle can reach speeds of 150 miles per hour in a full stoop. In those final seconds of approach, the eagle transitions, wings flare, legs punch forward, talons open wide. Contact. Death, when it comes, is swift. The eagle's hind talon, the hallux, drives deep with killing force. The rabbit does not suffer long. The eagle stands over its meal, feathers ruffled, breathing slowing. Then it begins to feed. Not every hunt is this clean. Eagles miss. Often. Studies of golden eagle hunts suggest they are successful only about 30 to 40% of the time. The aerial world is not always generous. Wind shifts, prey detects the shadow, cover is reached in time. And so the eagle returns to its perch. And waits again. For fish-eating eagles, the challenge is different. The bald eagle's hunt involves precise timing and an intimate understanding of water. Fish swim close to the surface when feeding, rolling into shallows during salmon runs, crowding together at waterfalls during the migration season, and the eagle has learned to read all of it. The eagle's toes are covered in tiny projections called spicules, which act like fish-grip sandpaper, preventing the salmon from slipping free during the flight back to a feeding perch. Every detail has been solved. Every problem met with an evolutionary answer. For all its solitary power, the eagle does not live its most important moments alone. Eagles are among the most devoted parents in the avian world, and among the most dramatic lovers. The courtship display of the bald eagle is one of nature's most breathtaking performances. A mated pair will soar high together, then lock talons in midair, and fall together. A spiraling, tumbling freefall that can cover hundreds of feet before they release and pull apart, only to climb again and repeat. It is a test of trust. A commitment performed in the sky. And it is extraordinary. Eagles are largely monogamous. Most species will pair for life, returning to the same mate, the same territory, the same nest year after year. If a mate dies, most eagles will eventually find another. But there is a fidelity in eagle pairs that is remarkable. The bond is reinforced with every season, returning together, rebuilding the nest together, hunting the same territory together. And then there is the nest. The eagle's nest, called an eyrie, is one of the largest structures built by any bird. A bald eagle pair may use the same nest for decades, adding new material each year. Over time, these structures can reach astonishing sizes. The largest bald eagle nest ever recorded, found in Florida, was nearly 3 meters wide, nearly 6 meters deep, and weighed almost 3 metric tons. A home built by wings and beaks, stick by stick, across generations. The nest sits high, on cliff ledges, in the tallest trees, in places where no predator can easily approach. And when eggs are finally laid, usually 1 to 3, depending on the species, the vigil begins. Both parents take turns incubating the eggs, keeping them warm against the cold, shielding them from rain, turning them gently with their beaks. After 35 to 45 days of incubation, a new eagle enters the world. It is nothing like the bird it will become, covered in soft gray or white down, eyes barely open, utterly helpless. The eaglet weighs only a few ounces. It cannot feed itself, cannot regulate its own body temperature. It depends entirely on its parents. The parents respond to this dependency with extraordinary care. The female broods the chick almost constantly in the early days, her broad wings a living shelter against cold and storm. The male hunts, sometimes making 5 or 6 flights a day to bring food to the nest. Week by week, the eaglet transforms. Its legs grow strong enough to stand. Its wings stretch and strengthen. It begins to exercise those wings, wingersizing, scientists sometimes call it, jumping and flapping at the nest edge, building the muscles it will need. It may be 10, 11, 12 weeks before it finally takes its first flight. That first flight is not elegant. It is not the soaring mastery of a full-grown eagle. It is terrifying and brief and uncertain. But it is the beginning of everything. The world of an eagle is not shared easily. Territory is everything. It means food, it means breeding success, it means survival. And eagles will defend what is theirs. Territorial disputes between eagles can be ferocious. Aerial confrontations involve diving, screaming, foot grappling, sometimes genuine physical combat. Most confrontations, however, are resolved through display alone. The larger, older, more dominant bird asserts itself through aggressive soaring directly above its challenger, a visual statement of ownership that the younger bird usually reads correctly, and retreats. Home ranges vary enormously by species and habitat. A bald eagle along a productive salmon river may maintain a territory of just a few square miles. A golden eagle in open mountain country may need a hunting range of 50 to 100 square miles to support itself and a family. In lean years, when prey is scarce, even this may not be enough. Winter is when the truth is told. Summer is generous, prey is abundant, days are long, the young have been raised. Winter strips everything back. Snow covers the ground. Small mammals retreat underground. Migratory birds have gone. The eagle must range further, work harder, and sometimes go days between successful hunts. In these moments, we see something unexpected in the eagle, a kind of endurance. A willingness to simply hold on. To wait. To conserve energy. An eagle can go several days without eating and remain functional. Its metabolism can slow during cold periods. But eventually, it must hunt. Not all eagles stay in one place. Some undertake journeys of staggering distance, migratory passages that cross entire continents, that follow invisible highways written in the wind and etched into the genetic memory of the bird. The lesser spotted eagle breeds across Central and Eastern Europe each summer. As autumn arrives, it joins one of the greatest wildlife migrations on Earth, funneling south through bottlenecks at the Bosphorus in Turkey, across the Sinai, and into Africa. Hundreds of thousands of birds of prey, eagles among them, funnel through these narrows because they cannot easily cross large bodies of open water. Thermals, which the eagles depend on to travel efficiently, only form over land. At Batumi, in Georgia, during peak autumn migration, researchers have counted over 1 million raptors passing in a single season. Eagles are only part of this river of birds, but they are the defining signature of it. Their slow, purposeful soaring sets them apart from the flickering, frantic movements of smaller migrants below. Modern tracking technology has revealed migration truths that would have seemed impossible to earlier observers. Juvenile golden eagles fitted with GPS transmitters have been tracked traveling 2,000 and 3,000 miles from their birthplace, navigating entirely on instinct, through mountain ranges, across deserts, following coastlines they have never seen. No map. No guide, only the pull of something deep and ancient inside them. There is no other creature that appears more consistently across the span of human civilization than the eagle. Long before we could explain it rationally, before we understood evolution, before we knew why eagles could see so far or fly so high, humans looked up at the eagle and saw something divine. In ancient Sumer, more than 4,000 years ago, the Anzu, a vast divine eagle, was one of the most feared supernatural beings in Mesopotamian mythology. In ancient Egypt, the god Horus wore the head of a falcon eagle, his eyes representing the sun and moon themselves. The eagle was not merely admired. It was worshipped. Rome built an empire under the sign of the eagle. The Aquila, the golden eagle standard of the Roman legions, was the most sacred object in a legion's possession. To lose it in battle was the most catastrophic disgrace imaginable. Rome's greatest military disaster, the loss of 3 entire legions in the Teutoburg forest in 9 AD, was marked in Roman memory above all else by the loss of 3 Aquili. Across North America, the eagle has been sacred to indigenous peoples for tens of thousands of years. Among many nations, eagle feathers are among the most sacred objects in existence, earned through acts of courage, given as honors, worn only by those who have proven themselves worthy. The eagle was seen as a messenger between the human world and the Creator, a creature that soared so high it could carry prayers beyond the clouds. When the founders of the United States chose a national symbol in 1782, there was debate. Benjamin Franklin famously preferred the turkey, a native bird, practical and resourceful. But the bald eagle won. Its image now appears on the presidential seal, on currency, on the uniform of every branch of the American armed forces. Few nations have so completely bound their identity to a single wild creature. In Central Asia, an ancient tradition that dates back 3,000 years still endures today. The eagle hunters of Mongolia and Kazakhstan, the Berkutchi, forge a bond with golden eagles that is unlike any other human-animal relationship in the world. A hunter captures a young eagle from the nest, spends years training it, hunting with it in the frozen steppe through brutal winters, and then when the eagle is old enough to breed, releases it back into the wild. The partnership is not permanent. The eagle belongs to the sky. The human only borrows it, briefly. For all the reverence humans have shown the eagle across centuries of mythology and symbol-making, the modern human world has not been kind to the actual bird. In the 20th century, the bald eagle, the very symbol of American strength, came perilously close to extinction. At the beginning of the century, there were perhaps 400,000 bald eagles across North America. By the 1960s, fewer than 500 nesting pairs remained in the continental United States. The causes were many: hunting, habitat destruction, and above all, a pesticide called DDT. DDT was hailed as a miracle when it was first introduced after World War II. It killed mosquitoes and agricultural pests with astonishing efficiency. What it also did, discovered only years later, was accumulate in the food chain. Fish absorbed it from contaminated water. Eagles ate the fish. The DDT concentrated in the eagles' bodies and interfered with calcium metabolism, causing their eggshells to become dangerously thin. The eggs cracked under the weight of the incubating parent. Nests fell silent. The eagle, at the top of the food chain, was the one that paid the ultimate price. It was a marine biologist named Rachel Carson who sounded the alarm. Her 1962 book Silent Spring documented the environmental devastation caused by DDT and synthetic pesticides, and helped launch the modern environmental movement. The bald eagle was her poster child for what indiscriminate chemistry could do to a living world. The book changed history. DDT was banned in the United States in 1972. The Bald Eagle Protection Act had already made it illegal to kill or harass the birds. And slowly, achingly slowly, the population began to recover. By 2007, the bald eagle was removed from the endangered species list entirely. Today, there are an estimated 300,000 bald eagles in North America. It is one of the great conservation success stories of the modern era. Proof that when humanity chooses to act, when we stop, and reverse, and protect, even the most dire trajectory can be changed. But the story is not over. And it is not the same for every eagle. The Philippine eagle remains critically endangered. Fewer than 800 individuals are estimated to survive in the wild. Deforestation in the Philippines continues at a devastating rate. The old-growth forests the eagle requires for nesting are disappearing. Every eagle that loses its territory to a chainsaw may never find another. In the Amazon, the harpy eagle faces the same slow suffocation. Its forest home, the most biologically diverse habitat on Earth, is being destroyed at a rate of hundreds of thousands of acres per year. The harpy eagle needs vast, unbroken forest. Fragments are not enough. Isolation from other populations leads to genetic poverty, reduced reproduction, eventual collapse. Across the world, power lines kill eagles in the tens of thousands every year. An eagle landing on an uninsulated tower can complete an electrical circuit, and die instantly. This is not an unsolvable problem. Insulating power lines costs money, and the technology exists. Where it has been done, electrocution deaths have dropped to near zero. But progress is uneven, and eagles keep dying on infrastructure built without them in mind. Lead poisoning is another quiet killer. Eagles that feed on the carcasses of deer or other game killed with lead ammunition may ingest fragments of lead bullet. Lead is toxic at even tiny concentrations. A single contaminated carcass can kill an eagle that took years to grow to adulthood. The switch to non-lead ammunition would largely solve this problem. Progress is slow. And yet, there are those who refuse to give up. Around the world, thousands of biologists, conservationists, local communities, and wildlife organizations work every day to protect eagles. Nests are monitored. Power lines are insulated. Injured birds are rehabilitated and released. Breeding programs have saved eagle populations that were otherwise beyond recovery. The Philippine Eagle Center breeds eagles in captivity and releases them into protected forest. It is painstaking, expensive, emotionally demanding work. But with each eagle that rises from the center and disappears into the green canopy, carrying with it the genetics and the potential of a species, the scale tips a little further toward hope. We have spoken of the eagle in terms of facts, wingspan, vision, speed, territory. But there is something else about the eagle that facts alone cannot fully capture. Eagles remember. Research into avian cognition has shown that eagles and other large raptors possess genuine long-term memory, for individual faces, for locations, for the sequences of events that preceded a successful hunt. A pair of golden eagles may remember nest sites, food caches, and the behaviors of prey species over a lifetime that can span 25 years in the wild, and longer still in captivity. They form bonds. Not just instinctive pair bonds, but what appear to be genuine relationships. Eagles that have been mated for many years show behavioral signs of preference for their partner above all others. When a long-term mate dies, some eagles exhibit what can only be described as behavioral grief, disorientation, reduced hunting success, prolonged periods of inactivity. The young eagle that left its nest this past autumn faces a world it has never navigated alone. It must learn, largely by trial and repeated failure, how to hunt, how to read weather, how to find food when conditions are hard. Most young eagles do not survive their first year. Those that do carry with them a knowledge earned the hardest possible way. Watch a young eagle catch its first fish. The explosion of effort, the splash, the grappling, the terrifying moment of uncertainty, the struggle to get airborne with the weight of the salmon pulling it toward the water. And then the lift. The wings catching air. The eagle rising. That moment contains everything. All the millions of years that built this animal. All the seasons that forged this individual. All the days of hunger and failure and learning, distilled into a single, furious, exhilarating beat of wings over a cold northern river. The question we must ask, honestly, without comfort, is not what the eagle means to us. It is what we mean to the eagle. We are the only species on this planet with the ability to protect or destroy all others. That is not a comfortable truth, but it is the truth. The bald eagle almost vanished because of our choices. It recovered because of our choices. The Philippine eagle stands at the edge of extinction because of our choices. Whether it survives will depend, entirely and without qualification, on the choices we make next. The eagle needs wild places. It needs unbroken forest, clean rivers, open mountain country, coastlines where fish still run. It needs skies without poison, power lines that won't kill it, hunting grounds free from lead. These are not extraordinary requirements. They are what the world was like before we arrived in such numbers and with such machinery. Every protected wilderness area is also eagle habitat. Every clean river is an eagle river. Every policy that reduces toxic contamination in the food chain is an eagle policy, whether or not eagles are named in it. The fate of the eagle is not a niche conservation concern, it is a mirror. When eagles thrive, it is because their ecosystem is intact, and when their ecosystem is intact, everything within it thrives. Including us. The eagle does not ask anything of us. It does not negotiate, does not petition, does not hold signs at the edge of its diminishing forest. It simply lives. It hunts and soars and builds and raises its young and waits on its crag in the early morning light, reading the world below with those extraordinary eyes. It has been doing this, in one form or another, for over 36 million years. 36 million years. Long before our species walked upright. Long before the first human looked up at the sky and felt something that we have never been able to fully name, stirring in our chest. Whatever that feeling is, it is ancient and it is true. It is us recognizing something that we know, at some depth below language, matters. That the sky is not the same without that silhouette in it. That a world without eagles is smaller. Quieter. Diminished in a way that cannot be measured but can absolutely be felt. May it always be in our skies. Closing segment. They were here long before us. With care, with humility, with the choices we make every day about the kind of world we want to share, they may be here long after. If you made it this far, thank you. Eagles have fascinated humans for as long as humans have been able to look up. If this documentary moved you, consider supporting your local wildlife conservation organization, and check the description below for links to eagle conservation efforts around the world. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this documentary with someone who loves nature as much as you do. We'll see you next time.